So, New York City.
City of Angels.
City of Angels.
City of Dream.
The Sunshine State.
Right, the Windy City.
No.
Yes.
We were talking earlier about what do you call Americans that are from United States? Because like your partner Kaya is from...
My partner is from Brazil, which is also in the Americas.
Exactly.
And also has states.
Exactly.
So
you can't say American because there's North and South, and then you can't be like, I'm from the States because many countries have states.
Many countries have states.
Yeah, and then we can't call you United Staters.
No.
We can just call Americans assholes. Like, we can't just do that.
No.
I am of the U.S. of A.
But we were in America.
I am of the
all
U.S.
up
of
in
all
there.
of the A.
But we were in the New World last week.
Yeah.
This week I'm bringing the New World to me because I'm kind of from the old world. Is what I'm feeling. But you guys are Americans.
Yeah.
And I live in America. Never mind. But you know
In
what
a
I'm
world
saying.
of colonization
was-
where
yeah,
the
and
country didn't exist
And
until
we're
it was found
bonding
by
and we're
her.
bringing countries together.
But yeah, so if you hear their beautiful voice, Kaya is back.
Yay!
And I looked deeply into those beautiful brown eyes last week and said, Kaya, you want to come back and play a role? Because I am overwhelmed by NPCs.
You see, this is what happened, Sid. We didn't respond more quickly enough when Ellie said that that we were her best friends.
And she got a new best friend.
She got a new best friend.
Wow. And it's happening right in front of us.
Okay.
Kaya, I'm all right.
I'm just gonna keep
Kaya!
locking eye contact now in hope
Yeah.
that just
I mean, listen, we'll need
these
all the
two will
help we
just
can get.
disappear
Whoa.
on
Yeah.
the sides while I stare deeply into Ellie's eyes.
What the fuck, Sid?
Sid, let's go start our own show.
Yeah, I've got an idea for a podcast. It's going to take place in a little place called Sweden. But that's never
Yeah.
been done before.
Are you ready to answer me really fast?
Yeah.
You're my best friend.
Best friend?
Yeah. Wow, that wasn't even a whole second. See how easy that was, Ellie?
Yeah, weird.
That's what I've been trying to tell you guys. It's so easy to reciprocate and you never do.
I got to listen back to that moment because it really was Ellie going, and my best friends, well, all right. Like,
You didn't give us
There was
any time
no
to respond.
time.
You had decided that we thought you were a dick already.
Actually, would either of you be interested in going
Being your
to
best friend? Yep.
No.
what were you going to say?
Good answer.
Ellie, now's the time for big asks.
Yeah.
Ask for that
Ooh.
free babysitting
Yeah.
now.
Ooh.
Now's the time.
You know I fucking would. You know
We're
I
all
would.
like, actually,
I'm
y'all, yeah,
good.
can we all do it together? Because
I'm looking at Kaya and Sid, and I'm like, sure, they'll come over anytime. But then,
Aaron's like,
and then
no.
looking at Anne, it's like, I'm cool.
I have my own child. I have a new dog. And,
Oh, yeah.
and it's enough. But I will absolutely be there when you need me.
Wait,
Just
but what
make
were you-
sure you really need me.
Sorry,
you
what were you
observe your
gonna say?
child from a comfortable distance.
We are
I love
volunteering
kids.
for a lot, but what were you going to ask us?
Yeah.
I thought it would be cool. Would you guys, either of you, move to Sweden,
Yes.
invite over Swedes,
Yes.
and play an American game, and then make fun of the Swedes for not
That
knowing?
seems like a lot of
Do
work.
we have to learn Swedish?
Yeah, wait.
first?
I have to. I'm assuming I have to speak to them in Swedish.
Are you
No,
sponsoring
Swedes speak-
that show?
The
Because then
Swedes
yes.
speak okay English. They're like me.
Okay. So we play. What do we play with them? Risk. Settlers of Catan.
Oh,
like
God.
what?
The Risk is the most American pastime. I was thinking like Hungry Hippos.
Oh, see, I was thinking
I was
Risk.
thinking like Sorry, where the whole point is you just ride on luck and then you fuck with other people. That
Yeah.
sounds
And then you go,
American.
That's
Sorry.
pretty American.
But
Yeah.
are there? I mean, must be RPG games that are set in America. Right?
I mean, like,
Yeah, absolutely. And there's
Yeah.
also RPG games written by Americans.
yeah, plenty.
No, but it needs to be set in
Set in
like your
America?
home country.
I saw. Have any of you?
Uh,
This is totally off, sort of off topic. Have any of you heard of Scythe or played Scythe?
Yeah.
You have. Have you played it? Is that set in America or is that fake world?
Honestly, I don't know.
It's cool though. It's like kind of Settlers of Catan, but like more vicious, like more dire. But
Yeah.
you're
You've never played Settlers.
I
of
have-
Catan.
Yeah,
Me.
it can be vicious.
I have the My Little Pony version of it. It's My Little
Stop.
Scythe. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It's in my house.
We should play it. But my
Okay.
friend was recommending Scythe, and I think maybe we would enjoy it. I think it's sort of like Oregon Trail mixed with Catan, where it's like you can die of bad things, but you're also trying to like set up a village and like grow your
So
state, city,
my
state, whatever.
favorite is called Western Legends, and it's a board game called Western Legends, and you're all
Cowboys,
you're all
cowboys.
cowboys pretty much, but you can decide whether you want to be a marshal or an outlaw. Like there are different ways to build up your, victory points and stuff like that.
That
But
sounds American as shit.
you can like go to the tavern and or not the tavern, whatever it
Saloon?
is, the saloon. Thank you, and play poker. Like it's a really cool game.
Can we play this, and can we all agree that when we play, we have to wear hats?
Oh yeah. Well, I
Just
play
hats.
it.
Yeah.
I stand
Just
by.
Draw me like one of your hat women.
Girls, you buy one of your hat
Draw
girls.
me like one of your cowgirls with just a hat on. Wink.
No, I was like thinking of a different kind of cowgirl.
I was thinking of the
I spent a
reverse.
lot of time on the internet. But no, I always say that every board game is an RPG if you try hard enough. That's how I play them.
Fuck yeah.
Because like,
I was gonna say the most American one I could think of was the original Ticket to Ride. Anybody?
I've
Ticket to
never
Ride?
played.
Ticket to Ride has characters as well, but that doesn't actually mean anything. It's sort of just like you draw cards of specific color and you build lines with those cards. But you know what?
We should
You can
play.
get into Ticket to Ride. Let me tell you.
We were all saying how we're all like lightweights and lushes because we like never drink, and we should just absolutely have a board game night where we
yeah.
all waste
make
it.
it an RPG.
Yes.
I used to
Yes.
work in board
Specifically
games, so I
non-RPGs.
literally have just a wall of board games I've either played or never played.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, we got to work through them.
Yeah, you gotta send a pic, and we'll pick a few.
Okay.
Yeah,
You got it.
Board night, and I think this is
Board
one of those wonderful ideas that will never happen.
Yeah, for
unfortunately, but
Thanks,
I
Ellie.
was
well,
like,
anyway,
I'm about to have a kid, so I'll see you all in 18
yeah, I'm like,
years.
this sounds
Right.
great
For you all.
for you all. Yeah, no, actually, people call me mama and things like that, and I kind of hate it because I'm like, first of all, I'm mama in
Do
Swedish.
you want your child to call you Ellie?
No, but I want you guys to call me Ellie.
Yeah, of course.
But like a dude that I haven't heard from in 7 years, an old. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But he was like, "What's up, mama?" And I'm like, "Eat my ass." And not in the
Mom.
way you did it last time. No, but like, fuck off. I don't like. But it's a weird identity crisis. I think I'm going through right now.
I think I've heard of this before too, though. Just in like people who are in relationships, and when they have a child, if the significant other starts to call the person mom and stuff, it's kind of like a psyche fuck thing because you lose your identity as like the romantic partner or like your name, and you become like mother.
Totally.
Yeah,
So-
and also, Mike Pence, and like, spoiler alert,
Oh,
I
yeah.
fucking can't stand Mike Pence or Trump.
But
Anyway,
that's the thing. He calls her
Mother.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, do whatever you want, but like
There's so many, yeah.
to me, if I
There's
had,
a whole lot of psyche to unravel.
if I had a
there,
kid
so.
and my partner and then everyone in my world started calling me mother, I'd be like, I am not your fucking mom.
No,
Okay, I
yeah.
have one
I
kid.
already hate it when people in the street are like, "Hey, mommy," and I'm like, "I am not your mother," and then I keep walking.
Yeah.
But I get inordinately
yeah,
mad.
yeah, it's a weird thing, but like, to wrap that story up, yes, I will get wasted with you, girl, and we'll take off our bras and
Spring break 2000
Wear
plus
cowboy
baby.
hats.
Take off the
Yeah.
bra, put on the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
it'll be amazing. Gender stereotypes, am I right?
Am I right?
Anyway,
Speaking of gender,
of
Vasen
in Uppsala.
Seg, Ellie, seg away.
Seg away, Ellie. Seg away, please.
I really want to play this game.
Yeah.
it is late June, and the last time I saw you guys, we were in America, but now we're back in Sweden, in Scandinavia, with our old buddies Henrik and Astrid. And you two are currently sitting in your sitting room. Johan is there, Thor is there. You can assume Horn is there somewhere, watching.
The shadow. I was about to say the shadows.
In the
Nice. High five.
You're not quite sure. You're never sure with Horn. In the past weekend, you celebrated Midsummer's Eve. It was a quiet affair, just with the close family. But you guys are basically family. So when I say the close family, I mean
It's
Astrid,
us.
Henrik. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Castle
old-
Jake Gyllenhaal. When
Yeah.
you're here, you're family.
Because Astrid, a couple of weeks earlier, you witnessed your mother passing away. And you hadn't seen her for a long time. And a lot of things went down in that little episode. And so you might not be super happy right now. And Henrik, you're currently reading a newspaper where your lover Sigrid Magnusson is featured in almost daily. Because since basically the past 3 years, but more and more so, there's this buzz in Uppsala right now about the mine. Because Uppsala University is the biggest fundraiser for this mine, or used to be. Seems like other interests are now also starting to fund it. And a lot of people are moving up there. A lot of people from all over the world is moving up to the mine. It seems like something is going on up there. You still haven't been able to visit because it's not time for Dragon Quest yet. But I don't know.
We can't walk. For some reason, there's like a border at the edge of the map, and
Yeah.
we just like walk against it.
Yeah,
and
just
it's
walk
really,
against it, and there's just like mist
we
everywhere.
can't go that way. Yeah. All right.
At this point in the day, Astrid is sort of looking in her own reflection in the window that looks out to the yard, and she's just running her fingers across the Brisingamen, which she has now begun to wear herself.
Nice, actually. So the Brisingamen, even though it's not actually Freya's, it's probably just a regular necklace, honestly. Sorry if you thought it was actually Freya's necklace, but it's not.
Yeah.
But since it has such and now I ruined the meaning of it. Like it's just a garbage golden necklace. Who cares?
Yeah, well, I think it's more about the fact that she's like, if my mother died for this,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna wear it. I don't care what
Exactly.
it is.
And because of that, give yourself an advantage. You can use it one time in combat, and to give yourself +2
Nice.
to any die roll.
Thanks, DM
Mama.
What did we just?
I'm
say?
sorry.
But you
I'm
are the mother of our game.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
you
is
kind
true.
of are the.
I am the game daddy.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're the game daddy.
I love
Yes.
calling people DM daddy. It's my favorite thing.
Daddy master. Daddy
All
master.
right, easy.
That one,
Anyways.
goes,
Roll it
that
back.
one goes much
That-
quicker somewhere else.
It rolled off the tongue so easy. Shouldn't.
Whenever it does, you got to be
It
careful.
was
I guess.
weird how ready you were to call Ellie that, though.
Yeah, it's not like we've done it before.
Like, you're my best friend, pause, but out of nowhere,
Yeah.
Master Daddy. Daddy Master?
Daddy master.
But you've
Daddy
called me.
master.
You've said that I have top energy before.
Totally.
You do.
And you do.
Nice.
That's why you make a great GM.
Nice.
No, I like it because it's like my whole life. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We don't have to get into it.
My whole life, I've been a bottom.
In my mind, like, a violin began to play, like, my whole life.
My whole
I've been a
life.
small woman. But now I have top energy.
Now I have.
Roll for initiative.
Exactly. I have the heels now.
I want to say Henrik, reading that newspaper, he cuts out the clipping about the mine and kind of puts it into a notebook that he's been keeping notes and like trying to keep track of information, knowing that we're eventually going to go to the mine and wanting to have just like this book of resources on everything people have been talking about, who the investors are, you know, what's going on in like the economic world of it with the university. And also, you notice that Henrik does pause looking at Sigurd's photograph. But he's trying to keep his head clear, and he's been taking a lot of walks, partly to give Astrid space with her grief and everything, but also trying to just be like, okay, Sigrid and I have like a complicated relationship now, and it kind of got like fucked up that night with the stuff that was going on. So he's just trying to like keep his head clear, keep focused on the mission.
But yeah, so you're not keeping pictures of her in that little notebook.
Maybe there's like
Oh, okay.
no, maybe there's like one nice one that he cut out where he was like, oh, nice, she's in the paper, and then she was always in the paper, and he was like, I'm not doing this.
The door opens up, and Alget walks in, followed by a woman. Kaya. What does she look like?
So she is an average sized woman. She has a somewhat stern face, but not in a mean way, more in a just sort of a ready to get down to business sort of way. She has dark hair, but there's like a little bit of gray streaking on the sides, and she's wearing like a blue coat that's very nicely fitted, but it also is sort of like it's a work coat that's a little longer and has like a belt with, you know, small tools and little things like that on it, and this hat that's sort of like a slightly sun-dyed hat that you might see like a man who's working outside a lot would wear. So even though she's got like longer hair and is definitely feminine, she's, you know, you can tell she's out and about doing things often and is, you know, seems like she's ready to get down to business.
Astrid immediately pops up as if, like, someone entering a room just causes her to leap into these sort of patterns of behavior, and she says, "Oh, my goodness! Hello, welcome to Castle Gillenkreutz. I am Astrid Nieberg."
And Henrik also perks up from reading a different newspaper. He gets like all the newspapers from the different towns and cities and stuff. And he's got his shorter hair now. If we remember, he'd cut off his long hair. He's kind of got the Leonardo DiCaprio Titanic hair. And he brushes it to one side, smoking a cigarette, and puts a cigarette out and also stands up and outstretches his hand and says, Henrik O'Doherty.
And she will reach her hand back and shake, firmly, sort of taking control of the shake and the introduction as well, and just say, Dr. Abigail Johnson. Dr. Johnson's fine. Abigail's fine. And then we'll reach out to you as well and shake your hand.
Yes.
Even though they're sort of like, not quite sure if you're the hand shaking type.
Yes,
but
yes.
Dr. Johnson is going to shake your hand.
Yeah, she quickly reaches out and takes her hand, and there's sort of like an excitement and a frantic energy that passes over her face when she recognizes like who you are, and she says, we've been so excited about your arrival. In fact, and she realizes Johan, her husband, is in the room, and of course Al gets in the room, and down the hall, like any number of guests could overhear the conversation. And she says, well, you must be so tired. Let's get you upstairs to we can make a room on Franzbald's old floor. Don't you think that would be right and proper?
Absolutely. Algit, could you set up some fika for us for a little bit later?
Absolutely. And he walks away.
Yes, and we'll have a little chat, and we'll be off to the races.
I'll help you with your bags. And he picks up some of your like equipment and stuff.
And Abigail will just sort of like look back and forth, like a little bit confused about this like very rushed entry into the space, but sort of kind of going
right, because you knew Franzibald, and when you were visiting him last, this castle was a completely different thing. Like it was like his bachelor pad of it was like a living room and his bedroom, and then this vastness of nothing being touched, basically.
I feel like Johan is just kind of sitting there, not really recognizing that anything has happened around him. And so she just kind of like pats him on the shoulder affirmatively. And Thor just looks up at him. And then we're out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now it's a hotel.
Abigail will just kind of be, looking around, taking in how everything is completely different than it was. And again, like, is rushing upstairs with you as well, understanding, like, all right, there's a reason why we're rushing upstairs, understanding, there's sensitive things to be talking about, but also just sort of...
It's a weird
still
vibe.
a little muddled about, being in a space that's so different.
And so you probably took the boat from New York to Gothenburg, and so you've probably been traveling for the past 5 or 6 days with horse carriage and trains and stuff. So you might be a little wary, but yeah. So the three of you find yourselves upstairs now, out of earshot from anyone who might be listening, except Horn. You never know with Horn.
So yeah, we find a room on that same floor, and that is again very familiar. It's the only thing that's familiar, probably from the castle you remember. And she sort of sweeps inside with you, and she says, "We're so glad that you received our letters. You see, we've been working very hard to discover what we can about these minerals, but to have a specialist is truly a pleasure."
Yeah, I was thrilled to get your letters and know that there was something else that could be done, something else that we could accomplish, something else that we could learn here. I haven't been to Sweden in a very long time, but I'm somehow still happy to be back. There's something pleasant about being in Franzbald's space and being able to get something accomplished again. And just sort of looking back and forth. Is Henrik in the room also, or is it just...
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm outside the door. I was carrying... I didn't know if you wanted the bag inside or outside the door. It looks... it's equipment.
There's like a big red fragile on the side.
There's a big red fragile on the side. Did you want it outside to the room?
And Abigail just kind of like gestures to the bed, like, just set all the equipment on the bed, and we'll keep it safe there. But again, I'm assuming that we're all ready to get down to business, talking about what needs to be done and how quickly we can get it done, how efficient we can be here.
Yes, of course. Come inside. Why are you being so weird at the door?
I'm not being weird at the door.
You're like a cat.
Astrid.
In or out. Make a decision.
Okay, I'm coming, Astrid. I'm coming inside. You don't have to yell at me.
Abigail is just like slowly going to the bags to do something else. Like, all right, I guess we're
Um,
not being efficient, but I will give them some space.
So
There's some talking that needs to happen.
Dr. Johnson. So Ellie's just laughing.
It's such a weird, like, like, hello, welcome from America. You've been traveling for like 6 weeks.
Then there's just bickering.
It's like, why are you looking like that? Like within 10
I
minutes.
should be the tired one, the hangry one, whatever, but...
Henrik Henrik comes into the room. He's being normal. He comes in and yes.
Okay.
young people. Neither one of you is that young, but like I'm older, so just
young people. And Henrik says, "So, Dr. Johnson, I assume it's top priority for you to go to the mine. And we've actually been planning on doing that. We had a few things to take care of. I believe we have most of our preparations done, though, and we'd like to accompany you. We did ask you to come here. I believe we could help each other get information and."
Oh my god.
Abigail's just like making eye contact and trying to
Research.
listen, but is also somewhat uncertain if like her eye contact is making Henrik
Yeah.
Henrik's like getting
feel
sweaty.
uncomfortable.
She just kind of watches this happen. And she's, what is it that you know already about these stones?
Well, I know now that the mine is reopening, and of course I was invited here by the university to come and do some more research, so I wish I could say that I knew a lot or knew everything, but really, apart from Franzabald himself and some awareness with the stones there, we just had an incident in the States out west where, there was a major seismic event and we found a bag of these stones in the States, which, as you know, they are not common there at all. We have yet to find them naturally anywhere in the States, so to see them there was...
What do you
Bag
mean?
of stones? A full bag of stones.
What kind of seismic event?
Well, I'm not quite sure. I wasn't there when it happened, but there was, readings on our equipment in the area, and when we finally arrived, there was a massive crater, and, what looked to be maybe some signs that some event had taken place there, and then there was just a bag abandoned full of these stones, so...
Astrid, pardon me, Doctor. The crater that was originally at the mine before when it closed.
They have never knew the cause.
Dr. Johnson, there was a crater which caused the initial close of the mine. They called it a collapse. But I saw photographs. It was a crater. Perhaps, I don't know if this is necessarily the relation, but if the stones cause destruction like that, we have to prevent it from happening again.
And we've seen other causes, Doctor. We saw at the ball, in the holiday season, we saw a man whose arm was sheared off by some sort of device, and then this woman, Sigrid, who I'm sure you've seen in the paper from the Magnusons, she used the stone to siphon some kind of energy to restore the man's arm, but his mind was taken from him. He was unreachable after that.
These stones certainly don't seem safe. That's one of the few things that I know that I can say about them, is that there's not a lot of warm, touchy-feely good things that are happening around them. There's danger. There's a variety of danger. Do you happen to know what color the stones you were interacting with were? Were they, green, purple?
We've seen one red and a few green.
Yeah. And one blue.
Ah, yes. This. And she takes out the stone. Wait, did we send that to her? Or did
Good question.
I think we did not send it. I don't think we sent
said
it.
we had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she reveals the stone that she's been holding on to.
Yeah.
And,
It's a blue gemstone. And you've seen one of them small fragments of that before, but it doesn't seem to be as powerful as the emerald green ones.
All right, so I think as soon as you pull it out, Abigail is just going to immediately go over to the bags and the equipment and rifle through some things very quickly, and then get the sort of compartment container that is just going to she's gonna take the stone from
Yeah.
you, but by not actually touching it and just sort of like scooping it off your hand in this like dual container that's just gonna have like a little specimen like lock
Yeah.
on it, and just like set it on the bed and just like look at it and be like, how long have you had these for? Do you have any others? Is there anything else that's just...
Well, Franz was believed to have some, but when we went to look for them, he left us clues and they were no longer there. And then this one we found in Svalin?
Yeah, northern Norway.
Yeah, we found in northern Norway with a... Well, you have the sight, right? You can see things.
I can.
Well, we were dealing with someone called the Lady of Cold, an entity called the Lady of Cold, and unfortunately she could not be reasoned with, so we had to use aggressive negotiations, of course, but when she was slain, this was what remained of her.
Well, as I mentioned, I don't know as much as I would like to. Again, that's why I'm here. Going to go to the mine as quickly as possible and start doing some research, see how many specimens I can gather and what we can learn from them. But again, they're not naturally in the States, so all I can assume is that they're being traveled by some sort of unnatural means, whether it's, something to do with these creatures or some other group. I really couldn't tell you.
I must ask you, I have come to believe that the Magnusons may have good intention, but what they are trying to do with these stones is extremely dangerous. I mean, you can already see in these articles how everyone has been roused to this national sense of pride around what they can create. These strangely empowered individuals without minds. I mean, it's too horrible to believe. And before we go there with you, I must know, are you willing to make sure that these things do not end up in the hands of people who would misuse this power?
I'm here to study and to learn, and although I could say personally that I would love to not see them in the hands of people like that who are going to misuse them in a way that's going to harm others, the way that I can make that happen is by learning more and sharing that knowledge with the people who can actually affect change, which I may be comfortably well known in my field, but that does not mean that I would have the ability to make something like that happen, and I certainly can't steal an entire mine on my own just to keep them out of the hands of someone I would prefer not to have them. Everything that I'm going into this space with is going in with knowledge and the desire to learn more so that if there is a danger, we can tell people about it and hope that they will listen to the science and they will stay away and they will keep them out of the hands of those who would misuse them.
Dr. Johnson, and Henrik is holding up Horn because he found him in the corner, and he just says, "What am I holding?"
And Abigail's just gonna look at you and see if you're like sweating again, and
Not-
isn't really gonna
not
respond,
sweating.
but is just gonna go, just put it down. We just let it go.
Aye.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Henry.
Horn. Sorry, I just tickle.
Yeah. And then
Keep him away from the stones.
and then
please.
you get lifted up
Aye.
by Horn.
Horn.
In a weird way.
Put it out my
Yeah.
toes.
Yeah, and like he's trying to like lift, but he actually is surprisingly strong.
He's very
and and he's like, see, doesn't feel so weird, does it?
I'm sorry that I lifted. I just wanted
Consent.
to
Consent
know.
is
Okay.
real.
Yes. Consent. Sorry.
It's
sorry.
fine. It's fine. And
Horn,
then
sorry.
Horn disappears. So
Give our love to the missus.
I've made an enemy in our own home.
yeah, he shuts the. You see a.
Small door.
You see a painting with the eyes are moving. He's just looking at you. No, okay, you don't see that. Sorry.
He kind of looks at Dr. Johnson and Astrid, and he's like, "So we're all on the same page, so to speak. We all have the same mission. I'm taking a walk now. Goodbye." And he turns around and leaves. And you hear the castle door close. And he leaves the castle.
We hear then first chunk, chunk, chunk
Yeah.
down the stairs. Yeah, then the castle
Someone jumps into a car.
Your motorcycle take off.
So there's like this big another research fair basically happening up north that they are inviting researchers from all over the world, but also officials, government officials, military people, like a lot of people. So it's this huge event, and the train for that leaves the day after tomorrow. So and you can, if you inquire with them, they're very accommodating because you're like a VIP. You're well known in the field of geology. Oh,
Geologists.
they're like, oh, cool. We can get
Geologists.
Abigail Johnson.
Geologists rock.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Sorry.
Thanks, Ellie. Anne wasn't happy.
I'm laughing just quietly, respectfully.
Respectfully laughing and smiling and hating. But I think, so they are very accommodating if you want to bring more people. In fact, they are like expecting you to bring like an entourage.
So then who do we bring?
I think going in, I'm sort of expecting that as well. So knowing like, all right, you're going to come with me. This is going to be, the research team. We can all help out.
I think Henrik finds like a kid on the corner who's selling newspapers or something, or like looking for work, a street urchin, if you will. Ooh. And it just says like, do you want to make some money? We have to go up north to the mine. We're a research team.
Yeah, the kid is like,
ask your parents.
Yeah, the kid is like, Mom, can I go? Yeah. It's
what kind of mother is like,
you
how old are you, 11?
Yeah.
Sure.
You should have gone a long time ago.
Get a job, you lazy bum. You're 9.
You're 9. You should be working in the factories.
Yeah, exactly. Go. Yeah.
What's your name, kid?
Pelle.
All right. I'm going to call you PP.
Thank
And
you.
let's go.
Well, my real name is Per, but everyone calls me Pelle. But I guess I'm PP now.
No, I'll call you Pele. All right. So
This is so confusing.
I introduced Pele to
PP. Nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Astrid and Dr. Johnson, and I just say like, you're going to carry our bags, and if the ladies ask you to do anything, they are also your boss. So listen to them.
Sort of like look down with like a stern look in that sort of like, is she scary? Is she not scary way?
Yeah.
Before then getting very excited to be like, all right, come here. Let me teach you a bunch of stuff. Let's learn about this.
Mm-hmm.
Rocks are super cool. If you didn't know that already, now you do. Let's go.
Now you do.
And
Cool.
Yeah. And Astrid is going to say, I know you're very capable. I know I'm very capable. I do not think it would hurt us to bring along a little more muscle. I think it would not be such a bad idea if I brought my husband along. He's strong, he strikes an imposing figure, and people will be less willing to question our presence places.
I'm not worried about my presence there being questioned, and she's gonna kind of go over to one of the bags and pull out like a rock hammer. It's just like a small sledgehammer. And
I'm not worried about my presence there.
She's not like cool enough to spin it, or maybe she's too cool to spin it.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna like stick it in one of the loops on her belt, which is just like a utility belt. But many hands make light work, and I'm more than happy to have as many folks there as possible to support us on this mission. So please invite him if you feel that he'll support what you're doing. And she sort of gives you like a pointed woman to woman look of like, sure, bring your husband if that's useful, but
Like,
I'm
literally?
also giving you the space to say that won't actually be that useful.
Yeah,
And then we'll just kind of
it's
go
funny
back to the
because
bag.
like this is the first time she's ever considered bringing him, but it's now the only now she's all like, did I make a bad impression? This lady's such a badass. And so she kind of Henrik's out of the room awkwardly and says, right, well, I'll just all right, and then she leaves and goes down to kind of ask for some time with her husband. My love, you have always been so patient and so kind and so free with your willingness to let me have my own life and my own work and my own adventures, but I think it's time you truly understood what I've been working on. And she explains to him the society, her mother's disappearance, what had happened recently. She like shows him the necklace and sort of, breaks down a little bit, finally revealing who she really is, who she's trying to be. And she says, I just hope I would never want to be a burden to you or a disappointment in any way. But I want you to be, as much as you can be, a part of this. I don't want to go on this mission without you because I don't think it's very safe.
And I think that, I'm assuming this is a pretty long conversation. So I think throughout this conversation, he is very confused at first, but he tries to understand, and then he holds you, and then he asks questions about like, but what are these creatures? It's like, but he does his best to try to understand and be kind to you. But then he starts to focus on the things that he can't understand, which is protecting my wife. Of course I'll be there.
I sort of like picture them sitting cross-legged on the bed across from each other, and she has her mother's book on the bed between them, and she's flipping through for different notes and explaining the creatures that she's seen to him in a way that can kind of encapsulate it like a story, where it's more fitting for the mind to understand like a legend than it is the reality of staring down Our Lady of the Cold or something like that. But ultimately, like finding like peace and understanding between the two of them, that it's just going to be confusing for a while.
Yeah, and he agrees to come with. He thinks that's, to him, that's a no-brainer, and I think the only thing he tries to cover it up, but I think the only hurt he feels is a little like, why you should have asked before. Of course I would have been there. That you didn't dare coming to me before this.
And she says, the society, it matters so much to me. I know it mattered to my mother, but what we had was just for me, and I sort of wanted to keep it that way for as long as possible.
He understands, and I think he holds you for the rest of that night.
Protect me, meat shield. I mean, what?
I mean, a husband.
Romance.
Right.
Love. Romance in the age of TTRPGs.
The train day arrives. Ooh.
Train day. Everybody up, and Henrik is very excited now.
There's some jumping on the bed.
Train day.
He's wearing a little conductor's hat.
My God. I've always wanted to go on a train.
Easy. It's like a whole Home Alone stress of like, Kevin?
Oh my God.
Pele?
Where's Pele?
He's on your shoulders.
I always
been
forget.
there all morning.
And my glasses are on my head. Hi.
Jesus. Okay. What? A bunch of servants are running around, prepping all the carriages to the train. I think you, Abigail, you might be used to a little bit more of
the hustle and bustle of getting ready to go. Go off and do something.
Yeah, and so, but you all arrive to the train, which is a newly built train and a newly built train track that's specifically for this mine, and so it's like a modern at the time train. And you all have your own rooms, fully stocked bar, your own private restroom, and a big bed. And I'm like, this is how I want to travel.
This is nice.
Nice.
Wait, so it's going to take over a day to get there?
Oh, 3 days.
3 days, okay.
Yeah, you have to actually make a stop before you make it there.
Gotcha.
But you're pampered by the staff, and outside the scenery goes from an open landscape, which you know to be the south of, or mid south of Sweden, to a thicker and thicker forest, and then eventually hills and mountains as you make your way up north. And after 2 days, nothing out of ordinary happens. You might be getting to know each other a little bit better, but you're roughly 1 day away from Kiruna and the research center when the train can't take you any further due to track renovations. So a carriage is waiting for you to take you the last stretch. But you arrive relatively late in the afternoon, so they drop you off at an inn in this small, strange village called Altajärvi.
Altajärvi.
Your whoever drives a horse carriage, what's that called?
A buggy?
A buggy?
The driver?
The driver.
Coachman.
A coachman.
Yeah,
Oh,
coachman.
the position on the coach.
Yeah, the coachman says normally I would have taken you further, but the inn they usually let people stay at is full, so this will have to do. And he drops you off at an inn in Altajärvi.
So obviously not the first choice in
Exactly.
of Altajärvi. We're at the third choice in.
Yeah, no, he
The
would.
shitty rated
he
Airbnb.
Means,
What
he
the-
means like he would take you further to Kiruna, a
Right.
different town.
Okay.
but we're a town outside.
Yeah, and by the way, for anyone who might be from Altajärvi, I just picked a city
And also,
close to
This is a
Kiruna.
long
Ellie
time
hates
ago.
you.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
Ellie
Yeah.
hates you specifically.
Exactly. It's cloudy and bright outside because we did discover in the winter there's no sun, but currently the sun never goes down, so it's always bright. But no people are outside, and as you enter the inn, you are greeted by a kind and friendly looking woman, but she's like literally the only one there.
Damn.
Hello.
Hello, god eftermiddag. Oh, I mean, good afternoon, dear travelers. You must excuse my English. I studying every day.
It sounds wonderful. I mean,
Hi.
I cannot speak but most of one language and some of another myself, so
Thank you.
Do you have 3 rooms available?
Yes, of course. You're here for the mine, I expect.
Aye.
Yes, okay. You're noticing in this inn and around her neck is a necklace that's shaped like an angel. Like there seems to be paintings and drawings of angels everywhere.
Like the Christian iconography of angels?
Yeah.
Okay.
is that weird for this area or normal or
Like normally people would just have crosses if anything. Like it wouldn't. This seems a little bit like
Very
Excessive.
specific about the angels.
Yeah.
Are there crosses as well?
not that many, no.
Huh.
But she's like clutching it a lot,
Yeah.
and it's like yeah.
She says interesting decor choice here with the angels.
Oh yes. Something specific about our town is that we've been most honored by our Lord. He sent us an angel, you see. She lives up there, and she points to something that looks like an abandoned barn.
The angel lives up there.
Yes,
Still.
in the monastery
Ah.
with 12 monks, and since she arrived 3 years ago, things have never been better in this village.
Does this seem like is she like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Can I roll a sense motive to see what her vibe check is, I guess.
Yep, sure.
I love doing vibe checks.
Vibe check. That's 0 successes. Vibe check.
Can I try?
Solid.
I think Henrik
Sure.
would as well. 1 success.
Yeah,
I think
she's a little,
she's a little cuckoo.
she's a little cuckoo.
Abigail Johnson already is no vibe check needed. She's like, this lady's crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think, and whether or not it's accurate is the real question, but I think Abigail is immediately just like, of the mindset of like, this is perfect. Great, we have a thing to go do, and this is clearly another thing. I don't really know exactly what it is, but great. So Abigail is just gonna kind of look between you two as you're clearly trying to figure out if she's insane and sort of try and convey the message of like, does that really even matter right now? All we know is now something's sort of fucked. And Abigail's just gonna look to the lady and be like, that's so lovely. I'd love to hear more about that. Would you be able to show us to our rooms first?
Oh, of course. And as she leads you up to the room, she's just shattering away of this angel. She's like, we yield so much more from our crops. She's able to cure diseases, and frankly, we can't even remember a bad day since she arrived. And
Have
this
the
one-
monks always been there?
Yes. We sent one every month for a year, as was requested.
You send a new monk.
Yes.
And have you seen the monks since they went up there?
No.
Wait, so there's 12. Sorry. there's 12 monks. You
Yes.
send one every month, every year.
No, the first year, and then she didn't need any more.
Ah,
Only
all right.
12. Only 12.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we're all just like, cool.
Well,
Great.
well, also Henrik and Astrid have been in some like highly religious areas where,
Yeah.
because at this in history, like Christianity is spread and it's spread in
Yeah.
like odd ways. So I think
Right.
he wasn't trying to parse if this woman was crazy, but is like, is this a very religious town
Yeah,
or is this
we're-
like a fanatic town?
Right. On a
Fanatic.
scale of 1 to 10, how into this are we?
Fanatic it is.
And it is a beautiful town, except for like this hill with this abandoned
Except for the
barn.
one area where
Yeah.
the angel is. Cool.
Well, like with like it's like currently a mist is coming in.
Oh boy. Yeah. She just kind of looks down at Thor and shares a look of, oh no, with her dog.
Henrik enters his room.
Yeah.
Well, let me know if you shall need anything else. And I must warn you about one bad thing.
Oh. Okay.
One bad thing.
Just one.
Well, it's
Not 12.
a lot
plus
of
an angel.
a lot of our guests. A lot of our guests are complaining about these weird dreams.
Sure.
All of us have them, and so we have gotten used to them by now. But
What kind of weird dreams? What can I expect?
it's this reoccurring dream of a woman in white who turns into a corpse.
Right. A woman in white who turns into a corpse.
I think Abigail's just like, all right, cool. And again, is chasing after like the efficiency of this thing. And so her mind is just sort of ticking through like the brackets of, all right, great. So there's an angel. Also, they keep sending people to it. Also, everybody has nightmares. Also, they're bad dreams. So great. This is a bad dream. This is a bad place. We're going to have to handle this bad place. And basically just sort of like looks at the woman and is like, thank you for the heads up. That's so nice of you.
Super.
Is there, yes, in very much of like super great, awesome sort of way, and says, is there going to be a dinner at a certain time served, or should we?
Oh, absolutely. I can have it ready for you whenever you want.
Awesome, thank you. So, what are we thinking? Is it nice 7 p.m. dinner works for everyone? Abigail doesn't really wait for like confirmation. She's like,
okay.
great, 7.
Yeah.
7.
And says back to,
Bye.
yeah, and just like ushers her out the
Yeah.
door and is like, all right, so you two. Is this something that you've dealt with before?
Well,
They've never called it an angel. That seems highly specific. But we did encounter the
Well, you
Lady
know-
of the North who
required sacrifices.
well,
Yes.
and also who supposedly helped them with their crops, and if they gave her what she wanted, she would give them good things in return. It concerns me that they can't remember a bad day. Makes me think that perhaps there was many a bad day.
I mean,
Clearly she's in their minds. If they're all having dreams of a woman in white who turns into a corpse, there's something that's affecting all of them together. So what's your usual
I would
practice
say
for this?
I would say I would like to get in touch with some of the energies of the place. I know that sounds a little strange, but I have my book and I have my wits about me. And she pulls out her mother's journal, and she's going to begin to sort of like sit and think about this description of the woman in white, and see if she can do some automatic writing to get some clues about what's going on, and hope that I don't go mad, because it's fine. Okay, great. Roll inspiration. All right. 1 success.
The way more that she talks about these dreams, the way like a detail caught you. And she said it's a woman in white turning into a corpse. And from what you've heard about Henrik
Yeah.
dreams, you can see that there's might be
A
that is a
connection.
little bit more of a relevant connection than I
Yeah.
thought it would be. And yeah, and you feel like the energies of the place, there's definitely something coming out from the monastery.
I think when this happens, Henrik is also, I'm going to use one of my talents, which is, I never really use this, elementary. So once per session, I can ask the game master to explain how clues are connected.
I am gonna suggest
To hold on to that?
To hold on to that, because this is the first part of
Okay.
the mystery. And if you burn all of
Yeah,
your
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
now,
No. Good.
Burn it all.
It does say once per session.
fair.
But I think then I'm just going to openly sort of discuss it with Astrid and just... So, okay, to me, as Henry, out of game,
Yeah.
this looks like the woman who I saw in the lake with
Yeah.
the emerald green eyes.
Yep.
Does this also look like the woman who I saw...
In the forest.
It's the same woman?
Yep.
Okay.
And so you also recognize it, and so you feel like this is a little bit more than just a Vasen, like, so to speak. Like, this is like more than a ghost that's haunting a barn.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, and I think we were nonchalant with Dr. Johnson, and we're kind of like, yeah, you know, we kind of... And I think when Henrik sees this, he's like, Dr. Johnson, this is different. I have had dreams of this woman on my own for years, unrelated to this town. I've never been here before.
Well, is it unrelated, though? Because the only through line through all of this has been the stones, and you've been having these dreams that entire time that we've been dealing with these stones, with Susanna.
Right. Well, perhaps there's a stone to be discovered then. And he kind of looks at Dr. Johnson as a means to an end of being like, well, we'll go look at the barn because maybe there's stones.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
I
plenty
think-
of light left.
This is true, yes, because it is not 7. It's not dinner time.
Also, it doesn't get dark ever.
Doesn't get dark ever. I think Abigail is going to feel like a slight pang in her science-loving heart that what we're going off of is like some doodles and somebody's dreams.
Solid.
Since she doesn't know you guys all that well, but like loves Franzbald, is here for it, like knows what she's signed up for, has the sight, gets the weirdness, but is like, oh, this is really not how I wanted this trip to start off.
Yeah.
I was hoping to just follow the evidence, work with the stuff that I really like. I think she's going to take out the stone that she does have, which is this, this blue stone that you brought or gave to me, kept, I think, and just see if there's any interaction briefly, not necessarily expecting that there is going to be, but just out of curiosity. And then is going to be like, all right, yes, I think we need to go investigate closer. And that's, again, try and be as safe and swift as possible. Is there anybody else who should be accompanying us?
Pele, just hang out around the inn here, and I give him some money, and I'm like, go get yourself some dinner,
Yeah.
and keep an eye just on our rooms and whatnot.
Is Johan coming?
Come on, Johan. It'll be great. 10 out
You're
of 10.
taking Johan to the barn?
Yeah, man. This is
Holy
the most
shit.
storytelling. This is what makes the most sense from storytelling.
That's true.
standpoint. So she sort of notices your frustration and is kind of like looking up from her weird occultist reverie and is like, yeah, that was a lot for right out the gate. And she like carefully
I do
closes.
think I, as Kaya, did not realize that those other people were in the space when we were having this conversation too.
Me neither.
I didn't
I don't
either.
think they were. I don't think
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah, I think if anybody else was, that they were like
Yeah.
not in the space, but I
No.
think you wanting to bring your husband
Yeah.
then, like again, she just keeps
Yeah.
giving you outs
Yeah.
to like not involve this person
Yeah.
and not whatever.
Yeah.
But she's sort of like curious and
Yeah.
now a little interested that you're like, yep, he's coming too, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, cool, must actually be useful then.
Ooh, we'll hope. Yeah, she sort of looks at you and she says, I think it would be useful to revisit a sort of conversation I had with Henrik a long time ago, which is we all have our parts to play here. I need people like you. It's very easy to go off of emotions and feelings, and facts are so much of what grounds us, what grounds these Vasen, these creatures, these experiences to the world we live in. And so I wouldn't want to make you uncomfortable by expressing my faith in these ways. It's just simply another tool that I have at my disposal. But I'm hoping that we'll find something more solid.
And Abigail will just sort of like smile a little bit and sort of like the first time you've really like seen this person smile
Yeah.
a little bit and just repeat again the
Yeah.
As long as it's a tool, I don't care how strange it is. If I don't know how it works, if you know how it works and it will help us, then it's useful.
Great! Slams the book. And she grabs Johann and she tells him where they're going and just to be on his guard.
And so he's happily walking, not taking the lead, walking behind all the three of you. But as you get closer and closer, walk up the hill, he's like, well, this suddenly turned creepy. Yeah, and it looks like the ruins of an abandoned monastery that someone has built like a barn above. But it looks like no one has been there for years, like 20 years. And on your way there are several stone and wooden statues of angels. Some of them quite weird and frightening.
Before we enter, again, since Abigail is the new one, I think Abigail just is, again, sort of going to check in with everybody and just say, so we're expecting they're all dead, yes?
Well, I'm certainly not expecting them to be alive.
Could be worse than death. There's things worse than death.
Yeah,
Great.
she takes
If
her...
that makes
And
you
then
feel
she's
better.
ready to go.
Yeah, you
That's good.
see...
She just wanted like the solid answer. Now she has the
Yeah.
information and we're ready to go.
Yeah, you see Astrid reach up and sort of take her bow off of her back and like just kind of knock an arrow on it casually, and she says, well, let's go then.
And as you enter, you get into something that kind of resembles a church. There's this main room. It's broken furniture everywhere, broken old furniture covered in dust. The windows, though, have no glass, and the wind creates an airy whistling sound. And in the middle, in the front, there's an altar. And you can see what looks like 12 hooded people sitting in a ring around it, bending forward. Everything else is completely still.
Oh no!
I don't know if we should
I
like
wasn't expecting that.
sneak it. I think Henrik. I don't know. Should we like talk or should we just walk up?
I mean, we wouldn't have the time to discuss it.
We wouldn't. You're right.
Make some decisions.
I think Henrik like knocks on like a wall nearby, like stomps his foot.
They don't seem to move.
Fuck. Henrik walks over, sword unsheathed at his side. Henrik taps one
Yeah,
on the
while you're like walking forward, Abigail is gonna also like take out her like sledgehammer and sort of
Good
like
idea.
fan out in the opposite
Yes.
way as a means of like, all right,
Flank 'em.
we're gonna sort of examine this space in
Yeah.
the most
Yeah.
As
quiet way we can.
You, as you reach out and tap one of them, it falls over and reveals a dead corpse.
Abigail's like seems not happy, but like there's a sort of joy in like, confirmation. They were dead. Yes, I knew it.
Aha!
But you hear a noise behind you. And imagine if this was a movie. As you slowly turn around, standing there is a woman in a white dress. And her jaw is impossibly wide. It's almost reaching down to her chest, creating this huge maw. And as you stare death in the eye, ready to face your end, there's suddenly recognition in those dark eyes. And she's looking at you, Henrik. And the jaw disappears, leaving the face of a regular human woman. It's Susanna.
No.
Of course it is.
I know.
And we'll see what happens next week.
No.
God!
I knew it would be. That sucks. Damn it. That sucks for me.
I'm
Damn
into
it.
it.
Oh, I'm into it. Not in the way that you would think, but